boys and girls, and welcome to Storytime with Miss Kim. I am Miss Kim, and I want to share with you a wonderful book about a little girl named Brooke, and she has curiosity. Oh, whoa, such curiosity. That's a good thing. Her grandfather has inspired her to how to become an inventor. Whoa, an inventor. We will follow Miss Brooke all through the story from the moment she wakes up till the moment she goes to bed. And we are going to see the types of gadgets that have been brought to us by inventors. Are you ready? We will also see just who Brooke's favorite inventor is. So keep an ear open for that. Let's get started. The name of this book is, If Not You, Then Who? The Inventor in the Pink Pajamas by David and Emberly Pridham. Illustrated by Hannah Lutefold. Let's begin. Brooke could feel it when she woke up. Today was going to be a great day. Brooke silenced her alarm with a quick thwack off of the off button and sprang out of bed like a kangaroo out of a pouch. Time to get ready for school. Whoa, she's all excited. Did you know alarm clocks have existed for thousands of years? The ancient teacher Play-Doh was known to use a water-powered alarm to wake him up from his morning lessons. It would take until 1787 for the first mechanical alarm clock to be invented. An American clockmaker named Levi Hutchins built the device to wake himself up for work. It was over 2 feet tall and went off every morning at 4 a.m. In 1916, American inventor Frank Werle was granted a U.S. patent for his improved alarm clock. Unlike earlier versions, Werle's device let users set more than one alarm. It also had a signal that automatically shut off. Wow, I bet you have one of those in your house. It was Ocean Week at school, and today was Brooke's turn to give her presentation about her favorite inventor. She had chosen the famous ocean explorer Jacques Cousteau. What do I want to wear today? Brooke asked herself as she sorted through her closet. A dress, a tutu, a cape? Thinking about her presentation, Brooke settled on her blue whale shirt and her favorite jeans. Well, did you know that blue jeans were invented in 1872 by Jacob Davis? Davis was a tailor who bought his material from Levi Strauss. When one of his customers kept buying cloth to patch his torn jeans, Davis had the idea to add copper rivets to the weak spots. Davis did not have enough money to patent his idea, so he asked Strauss for his help. Strauss agreed, and in 1873, they received a U.S. patent for their improvements in fastening pocket openings. Davis and Strauss decided that denim would be the first fabric for their work pants and started making denim overalls and jeans. Jeans were first sold as work pants, but became fashionable in the 1950s. I bet a lot of you have jeans, don't you? Brooke had practiced her presentation all afternoon yesterday, but she was still nervous about speaking in front of her entire class. What if she tripped walking to the front? What if she said the wrong thing? We've all felt that, haven't we? Brooke was so focused on her presentation that she lost track of time. She was going to be late if she didn't get moving. Did you know that Leonard Marafino invented striped toothpaste in 1955? That's what she's doing, isn't it? He received a U.S. patent in 1957 for his striping dispenser. Marafino's simple design is still widely used. The main toothpaste, which is usually white, takes up most of the tube. It is connected to the nozzle at the end of the tube by a thin pipe. The stripe in the toothpaste, which is usually red or blue, actually sits on top of the white toothpaste. Did you know that? Then, when the tube is squeezed, small holes in the pipe pull the red toothpaste into the white toothpaste. Wow! The two toothpastes are thick enough that they do not mix together, and they are pushed out of the tube through the nozzle with the stripe in the middle. That is interesting. Now what happens? What could you invent to make your morning easier? Look, Brooke is brushing her hair and she's coming up with some ideas, isn't she? Those are pretty wild, but who knows? Brooke bounded downstairs for breakfast, and to her surprise, she was the last one there. She only had time for a quick bite of toast before she had to leave for school. Look, everybody's around the table. Dad says, "Hey, sleepyhead." Mom, "Are you hungry for breakfast, sweetie?" Grandpa says, "Morning, Brooke." She said she was going to have toast. Did you know? Modern toasters look very different from early models. The first electric toaster was invented by Alan McMasters in Scotland in 1893, but it wasn't perfect. Not only was it a fire hazard, it only toasted one side of the bread. Wow! In 1905, Albert March built a new heating element that was safer to use. He and George Snyder received a U.S. patent for their electric cooker in 1906. In 1915, the Copeman Electric Stove Company added an electric bread turner to their toaster. And in 1919, Charles Strite modernized the toaster by adding a timer and an automatic pop-up. He was granted U.S. patent for his bread toaster in 1921. Wow, we can thank him for our toaster, can't we? Wow. Thank you, Alan McMasters. Oh, now here they are around the table. Let's hear what everyone has to say. Dad, excited for your presentation today, Brooke? Brooke says, kind of. I know we practiced, but I'm still nervous. What if I mess up? Grandpa says, you've got this, Brooke. You could give this presentation underwater if you had to. And Mom and Noah are having a conversation over here. Noah, stop feeding your breakfast to the dog. But he used the magic word. Look at the little puppy. Wonder what magic word that the puppy had to say. The walk to school with Grandpa was one of Brooke's favorite parts of the day. Noah always tried to run ahead, but Brooke walked with Grandpa. Dad says, break a leg, Brooke. Mom, good luck today. Grandpa says, not so fast, Noah. Look, he's taken off. Wow, he has a pair of red tennis shoes. Grandpa liked to tell her about the plants, animals, and inventions that existed in their neighborhood. And Brooke liked to listen. It seemed like Grandpa knew something about everything. Wow, did you know William Bowerman is the father of the modern athletic shoe? Bowerman was a track coach at the University of Oregon and wanted to improve his athletes' shoes to help them run faster. To increase speed and traction, he had the idea to use a lighter rubber sole with raised waffle design At that time, most athletic shoes used heavy metal spikes to create traction when running. This meant that athletic shoes could only be worn on certain surfaces. Bowerman's design allowed athletic shoes to be worn on any surface and brought them into popular fashion. I bet we all have a favorite pair of tennis shoes that we like to wear, don't we? Well, let's see. In 1963, Bowerman was granted a U.S. patent for his athletic shoe for artificial turf. Due to the waffle design on the sole, Bowerman called his shoe the Waffle Trainer. He actually used his wife's waffle iron to make the soles on his first pair. In 1964, Bowerman started Blue Ribbon Sports with Phil Knight, a former athlete, to make and sell Bowerman's shoe. In 1971, they changed the name of the company to, do any of you know? Nike. That's right. Grandpa, how do you become an inventor? Brooke asked. If she was going to be an inventor like Jacques Cousteau, she needed to get started as soon as she could. Anyone could be an inventor, Grandpa said. That's one of the best parts about it. All you need to get started is a good idea. Think about the guy who invented crosswalks and stop signs. He never learned to drive a car, but he still figured out how to make driving safer. Wow. Let's read. Did you know this? William Phelps Eno was born on June 3rd, 1858 in New York City. Cars were not popular during his childhood, but horse-drawn carriages were causing traffic problems in big cities. Getting stuck in a traffic jam as a child had a lasting effect on Eno. As an adult, he worked to improve traffic rules and safety. In 1903, Eno wrote the New York City Traffic Code. It was the first traffic code in the world. He went on to design traffic plans for London and Paris as well. Whoa, isn't that interesting to know where some of these things came about? Eno is credited with many early inventions in road and traffic safety, including stop signs, crosswalks, traffic circles, and one-way streets. Whoa, let's see what happens on the next page. See if you can find some of those inventions. Whoa, there's one right there, isn't it? The crosswalk. But how do you find a good idea? Brooke asked. Sometimes it seems like everything has already been invented, right? People invent things for all sorts of reasons, Grandpa answered. Just look around and you'll see. Cars to help us go places faster. Seat belts to keep us safe while we're driving. And sidewalks to keep us safe while we're walking. Think of something in your life that you can make better and then figure out how to do it. Wow, that's a good idea. Grandpa's pretty smart, isn't he? Did you know that in 1923, inventor Garrett Morgan received a U.S. patent for his three-position traffic signal? Morgan's signal wasn't the first. Earlier versions used two signals, one for stop and another for go. But policemen had to warn drivers when the signal was about to change by blowing a whistle in the intersection. Ernest Serene from Chicago solved this problem when he invented the first automated traffic signal. He was granted U.S. patent for his street traffic system. To improve on Serene's idea, Morgan added a third light to warn drivers that the signal is about to change. Do you know what color that third light was? Yeah, it was yellow, wasn't it? Adding a third light made things easier for everyone, especially the policeman, didn't it? Yeah, it cautioned the drivers. Whoa. Before Brooke knew it, it was time to give her presentation. "Brooke, you're up," said her teacher, Miss Maple. Miss Maple's excitement only seemed to make Brooke more nervous. She made the long walk to the front of the class, turned around to face her classmates, and began. "Come on, Brooke, you can do it." This is her report. Jacques Cousteau, Ocean Inventor, by Brooke Fairley. Jacques Cousteau was born in France in 1910. He first wanted to be a naval pilot, but an accident forced him to change his plans and pursue his love of the ocean. Cousteau was an explorer, a scientist, and a photographer, an author, a conservationist, and an inventor. His most famous inventions were for underwater diving. He invented the first underwater propulsion system, the first 35mm underwater camera, and the diving saucer. Wow, no wonder he is her favorite. The words glided out of Brooke's mouth exactly as she had practiced. Clearly, loudly, and enthusiastically, her presentation was going great. The more Brooke spoke, the more her confidence grew, and it didn't hurt that she knew almost everything about Jacques Cousteau, huh? She reads on. Cousteau's most famous invention is the aqualung. He invented it in 1943 with an engineer named I'm going to see if I can pronounce this right, okay? Emil Gagnon. Cousteau needed a diving system that made it easier to explore, collect data, and take photos while underwater. The aqualung was the first self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, or scuba. Have you heard of that? Yeah, I bet several of you have. To have mainstream success, divers liked it because it was smaller, lighter, and allowed them to stay underwater for over an hour. In 1945, Cousteau and Gagnon were granted U.S. patent for their diving unit. Whoa! Isn't that awesome? Right. I'm sure you've seen them in movies if you haven't seen them in person. She did it. Grandpa was right. Brooke could have given this presentation underwater, upside down, and in a scuba suit. Her knowledge and practice had paid off big time. One of her friends said, "Good job, Brooke. Way to go." Here's some other information. Did you know that Louis de Corlou invented modern swim fins, also known as flippers, in 1914? Early inventors like Leonardo da Vinci and Benjamin Franklin had experimented with their own fins hundreds of years before. After nearly a decade of work, de Corlou received U.S. patent in 1933 for his swimming and rescue propulsion device. In addition to the two fins on the feet, his design also had two fins shaped like spoons to wear on the hands. Whoa! I bet that helped them with swimming, didn't it? Brooke raced to the car after school. She couldn't wait to tell Mom about her presentation. Mom says, "How'd your presentation go, Brooke?" "Swimmingly. I think I got an A." Look at her. She's all excited. Mom's in the car. "What do you see?" "Did you know that in 1950s, Dr. Hunter Sheldon designed the first car seat belt?" Dr. Sheldon worked at the hospital and got the idea after seeing many patients with head injuries. It worked better than expected. And in 1966, a law was passed that required all new cars to have seat belts. In 1959, Swedish engineer Niles Boland invented the modern seatbelt while working at Volvo. He received a U.S. patent for his 3-point safety belt. In the event of a crash, it would spread energy across the passengers, chest, lap, and shoulders, right? Volvo knew how many lives their invention could save, so they kept the patent open and let other car makers use it for free. Whoa! There's a lot of information, isn't there? Today it was Brooke's turn to make snacks for after her soccer game. Mom had promised to help Brooke make chocolate chip cookies, her favorite, right? Mine too. What is she using? Well, let's learn about that. Did you know that kitchen mixers got an upgrade when electricity came into popular use in the 1880s? The first hand mixers used a handle to turn rotary parts to blend ingredients together. But when Rufus Eastman introduced the electric mixer, cooks no longer had to use the handle. Electricity turned the parts for them, and he received his U.S. patent in 1885 for his mixer. And then in 1908, Herbert Johnson improved on Eastman's design by building a standing mixer. Cooks no longer had to hold the bowl or the mixer. Despite their usefulness, electric mixers didn't become popular in home kitchens until the 1920s. Now they're a standard in many. Have you seen your mom or dad use one of these? I bet you have. Mom's job was to weigh the ingredients, and Brooke's job was to mix them together. Their system was working as easy as pie, and then boom! Oh, Brooke knocked a bowl of cherries right into the cookie batter. Oh no! Brooke knew they were almost certainly ruined, but Mom always looked on the bright side. Some of the best things were created by accident, Mom said. Who knows? We may have just invented a new cookie. Good idea, huh? Sounds good to me, but I love cherries. And then on this page, it talks about some other accidental inventions. And I'm going to bring up just brief parts on this, okay? Noah Mcvicker invented Play-Doh, right? Well, Play-Doh was first used to clean coal off of the wallpaper. Because back in the day, coal was dirty and it would get stuck to the wallpaper. Well, right, that's what he used Play-Doh for. Well, then, as homes moved away from the coal power heating, Mcvicker looked for other uses for this putty. Do you guys know? Have you ever heard of Play-Doh? That's right. He shared it with a teacher. He wanted to use it for art projects. Her students loved it. So Mcvicker decided to sell it as a toy. In 1956, he started his own company to make and sell Play-Doh. Wow, isn't that awesome? That's how we got Play-Doh. Then Popsicles. Who doesn't love them, right? They became popular in San Francisco in 1922. They were called Popsicles back then in honor of their inventor, Frank Epperson. He said that he invented the frozen treat in 1905 when he was 11 years old. So see, no matter what age, you could possibly invent something. According to Epperson, he left a glass of lemonade soda with a mixing stick in it on his porch overnight. It was frozen when he went back to it the next day, much to his and our delight, right? In 1924, Epperson received the U.S. patent for his frozen treat. What fun! Did you know that Ruth Wakefield and Sue Brides invented chocolate chip cookies in 1938? Whoa! These cookies quickly became one of the country's most popular baked goods. In fact, they were so popular during World War II that soldiers wrote home to their families asking for chocolate chip cookies. Whoa, they look yummy, don't they? Mom was right. The cookies turned out to be delicious. Brooke couldn't wait to share her invention with her teammates. We'll call it the Cherry Chocolate Brookie in honor of its inventor, Mom said. Whoa, so she did invent something this day, didn't she? Way to go, Brooke. Way to go, Mom. Brooke's soccer game that night was an important one. Her team, the Blue Bobcats, was playing its arch rival, the Purple Panthers. Brooke had missed the game-winning goal last time they played, so she and Dad had practiced almost every day since then to prepare for their rematch. Brooke was determined to win tonight. AstroTurf was invented in 1965 by James Faria and Robert Wright. It was first sold as Chemgrass. Faria and Wright improved on earlier designs by using a longer crimped texture that made the turf more like real grass. Wow! It also cost less and was easier to take care of. They received a U.S. patent for their monofilament ribbon pile product. That same year, Judge Roy Hofheinz was building a new sports arena in Houston, Texas. It would be known as the Astrodome. To save money, Hofheinz wanted to use artificial turf in his arena instead of real grass. He decided to use Chemgrass, and it was renamed AstroTurf in honor of the new arena. In 1966, the Houston Astros played their first season at the Astrodome on AstroTurf. Wow, how these things get to be. Brooke looked towards the stands for a second, and a Purple Panther raced downfield for an easy goal. That wasn't what Brooke had practiced. At halftime, the Blue Bobcats were losing 2-1. Drat! They would have to focus and play better if they wanted to win. Whoa, what is this? That's right, it's a soccer ball. Soccer balls have seen many changes over the year. The earliest balls, did you know this? They were made out of bladders and stomachs of animals. Oh my! And then the soccer balls were usually made by filling a leather casing with cork shavings. They just wore out so quickly. Then later, there were leather laces added. But they were also a problem. They often fell apart and were painful to head. In 1931, a group of inventors from Argentina developed a design without laces. Wow! By the fourth quarter, the Bobcats had tied the game. With 10 seconds left on the clock, Brooke stole the ball. It was all up to her now. Brooke lined up her shot, kicked the ball exactly as she had practiced in the backyard with Dad. It soared over the goalie's hands and into the back of the net. The Blue Bobcats had won. Yay! Way to go, Brooke. Practice does pay off. Now let's talk about the biggest change to the soccer ball. That design came when Charles Goodyear invented vulcanized rubber back in 1939. Vulcanization is the treatment of rubber to make it stronger, bouncier, and resistant to heat and cold. Soccer balls have been made with rubber cores ever since. Wow! And the way we've got the original five-sided stitching method for the outside the ball, that was developed by Rudolph and Peter Dinert. Wow! They received a U.S. patent in 1987 for their design, giving the soccer ball its now iconic look. I bet several of you have this kind of ball, don't you? Bedtime Bedtime couldn't have come any quicker. Brooke was exhausted. But first she had to brush her teeth, put on her pajamas, and find Bert the bear. Why wasn't bedtime simpler? Mom is asking, Bert, where are you? Yeah, we see him, don't we? He's right down here. How do you think we got this teddy bear? Let's see. Teddy bears were named after former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt, whose nickname was Teddy. Wow! The idea for the teddy bear came from an encounter he had with a bear cub in 1902. My gracious! Isn't that awesome? After the cartoon of the encounter was published in a newspaper, a toy maker named Morris Mcvicker had the idea to make a toy based on it. Mcvicker and his wife made a small cuddly bear toy and sent it to Roosevelt. They got permission to use his name and began selling it in their shop as a teddy bear. The toy was an immediate success, and Mcvicker founded the Ideal Novelty and Toy Company. It became the largest doll-making company in the country, even though the toy's name was eventually shortened to the teddy bear. Its popularity has only grown. How many of you have a teddy bear? Yeah. Now you know where it came from. What's an everyday invention that you could improve? She's in her bed and she's thinking about another invention. Whoa. Boys and girls, that says anybody can come up with an invention, huh? Sleep washed over Brooke with the disappearing light. Today had been a great day after all. She aced her presentation, invented a new kind of cookie, and scored a game-winning goal. Who knew what tomorrow would bring? Wow! Mom says, good night, my sweet, smart inventor. We can't wait to see what you create tomorrow, says Dad. Ah, and look at this. That is her light, isn't it? Yeah, the first electric lamp was invented by British inventor Sir Humphrey Davy in 1802. Davy's lamp was powered by the strongest battery in the world at that time. But it wasn't suited for everyday use. It was too bright, and as a result, it burnt out quickly. In the 1870s, British inventor Sir Joseph Swan and American inventor Thomas Edison each invented their own version of the electric lamp. Their designs were very similar, but Edison's version burned much brighter and could last for more than 1,200 hours. Whoa! He received a U.S. patent in the 1880s for his electric lamp. Whoa! Boys and girls, and on the back pages it talks about things to know about patents. So if you want to become an inventor, and what you have to do, you have to know how to patent it, right? There is just so much information in this book, and I learned a lot. I hope you did too. And thank you for joining me today in this book. If not you, then who? The inventor in the pink pajamas. Boys and girls, remember that a good book and your imagination will take you anywhere. Until next time, bye.